All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. It has been, 2 weeks now? Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so welcome back. We are going to be continuing on with our movie ratings model today, picking up where we left off. So I believe the last live stream we did was, so the previous two live streams, what we did was actually training the models. One was doing a local train, and then the other was showing you how to craft an inference, or not an inference script, but a training script. And then we actually did a train over on SageMaker, AWS SageMaker, which is the machine learning service over on Amazon Web Services, AWS, as you know. Being transparent a little bit here is so in between streams and on the weeks and stuff, I usually do like my own like kind of prep work and stuff for this. Like in the form of just doing coding over, so you can see my surface over here. I like to take my surface out around the house or around the Starbucks, other places to do these things. But I haven't. Like I have not touched this project at all these last 2 weeks, and for a couple of reasons. Number one, work's been really busy. But number two is like there's been kind of weird stuff going on the last 2 weeks, both good and bad. On the good side, some new video games have come out. So on the PlayStation 5, we got Horizon Forbidden West. And on the Xbox Series X, I guess it's on a new platform, but I have it on my Xbox Series X, is Elden Ring. Elden Ring came out last week. And so, when new video games come out, they usually take up my time. And so whenever two new video games come out, they take up a lot of time. So that's the good side. But on the downside, there was some news that my alma mater is not necessarily closing their doors, but kind of closing their doors. Especially in the sense that, so I don't know if many of you know this, but my bachelor's and master's are from the same place, bachelor's in business administration, master's in organizational leadership, and both of those programs are effectively gone. On-campus living is gone. Sports teams are gone. And so, and I still have friends that tied to the university and everything. So it's been weird. Weird in the sense that, like, it's sad. Like, I kind of knew it was coming. But it's still sad, and it's kind of giving me pause to think about a lot of things with that. And so between that and the video games, I've just not done any coding. So we'll see how rusty I am with this. But that's not why you came here. So also the reason, so adjusted time today because I'm gonna go see the new Batman movie here in a little while. But we'll go back to our typical 2:00 Central Time going forward. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you all saw here, but I got a new decoration for my office, so that's kind of cool. So I'm excited about that. So that is the Legend of Zelda Triforce, and with the Triforce emblem as this whole thing. And I don't know if y'all noticed this painting up here. Let me see if I can show you. So this painting right here is kind of hard to see because you can actually see the reflection of the T. I wonder if I can show you this without messing things up. But so my office serves a dual purpose. It's like my office / I call it the dad cave because I don't know. Man cave seems a little misogynistic, so I actually play this. This is my recliner right here behind me, and you can see my Xbox, and then out of the frame a little bit is my PlayStation. But anyway, so you can see that. Let me put the camera back here. Did I adjust that right? Okay. So anyway, the reflection you're seeing there is like the TV. But if there wasn't a reflection there, that painting is actually like a really cool watercolor version of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, like its main landscape. So I'm a big Legend of Zelda fan. As you can see here, I've actually got, even right below this camera right here, I've got like Legend of Zelda amiibo here and stuff. And it looks like I need to adjust this camera just a little bit more. And because it's getting the shelf right in the shot right here. Well, okay, good enough. All right, on to the coding. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So like I said, I've not done anything in a while. So let me see if there's something I need to pull down. Excuse me, because I do all my streaming on my Mac Mini. Look, even my ZSH is like, we need to have been updated. It's been so long since you've used your Mac Mini. But that's because I do a lot of my work now on my Surface, and then I push all the code up to GitHub. I almost said GitLab, but not GitLab. I meant GitHub. So let's see if I have anything to pull down from here. So CD. Oh, so this was a fun idea that I thought would be fun and you all can let me know if you like this idea. So you can see right here highlighted. I've actually not started this at all, but I think because there's been the popular phenomenon of like Wordle coming on stuff. I think it would be very easy to code a Wordle like application in Python, and as like a kind of introduction to Python kind of thing. So this would be like a more introductory kind of course for newer people to Python. It wouldn't be data science or machine learning at all. It would just be a fun thing we could do in Python. So if that sounds like a fun idea, we'll consider that for a future stream. Okay, so anyway, so onward to our model today. Okay, cd git status, git pull origin main. Okay, already up to date. Okay, so maybe like I said, I probably haven't done anything on my Surface at all, so it looks like we're good to go. I better check the audio here to make sure that this is okay. It's been so... Okay, it's fine. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like it's been a month since I've done a stream. Okay, so all good to go. Let's go ahead and open up IntelliJ. So what we're going to be doing here, and I don't know how far we're necessarily going to get today. Well, we definitely won't get to the end, but what I eventually want to do is... So what I've said before is I'm creating this predictive model specifically to support like this one podcast that I like to listen to. And it's not like a major like famous podcast, but it's in the sense that like I wouldn't say I personally am like friends with these guys, but they know who I am. And like I talk to them, and so then I can communicate with them, and they are eager to see this whole thing come to fruition. So in that regard, I actually want to, my goal is to deploy this thing out as a little website. However, I am extremely cost conscious, and so I want to do it in a free way if possible. So what I'm basically saying is I want to deploy this out as a little website, and I think I can do this through a platform called Heroku, and I honestly have very, very, very little experience with Heroku. I did something with Heroku as part of like a Udacity nano degree like 3 years ago. So I know it's possible, and I know it will be free, but yeah, I need to figure out how to do that. And I think what we can do is we can deploy this out as an API specifically written as like a fast API implementation, and I think you can serve out like a little HTML web page in order to be able to like type in basically what I want to be able to do is you type in a movie, whatever movie it is, like let's say it's The Matrix, and it will give you the review score of what it would think that this reviewer would give this particular movie. Well, the 2 review scores. So the positive yes or no, or the bean scale score. So that being the 0 to 10 kind of score. So I don't think we're going to get that far today. Definitely not, because I still need to do some research on Heroku. But what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and start to create the fast API implementation, and it's been a while since I've used Fast API. So transparently, at work, I use Fast API also, but a lot of the models I've written for work lately have been more of like batch kind of models. So therefore, I have not had to create a real-time API. So therefore, I'm a tiny bit rusty on Fast API, but no worries. I'm sure we could figure this out. So let me go ahead and close out some of these open tabs we got going here. So we'll close all these tabs, and so in our container script, and I do currently have this being created as like something that could be served out on SageMaker, AWS SageMaker, and I don't think I'm going to go that route with actually serving it out because, like I said, I want to do something that's free. In SageMaker, you do incur some costs, and even though it's not a big cost, I want it to be free. I'm cheap. So looks like I started to create some sort of prediction. Oh yeah, so this was an idea that I had before too, that I was testing out at one point, and it was this idea of turning this into a CLI based kind of thing, command line interface kind of thing. But I've decided now, well, obviously, like the guys that I'm working with on that podcast are not technically inclined. Therefore, CLI would be a bad idea. But a website's a good idea, of course. A very, very, very simple website. It would, like I said, I just want it to have, basic web page, text box that says put your movie in here, and click the button. It gives you the score back. So nothing fancy at all. Can I say nothing like 5 more times? Oh, by the way, I do have the chats open on both LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop them in the chat, and I will make sure to answer them in a timely manner. Okay, so let us go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and delete all this. I think I got it saved elsewhere. So what we're going to need to do is, I have no idea. Import fast. Well, so import, I'm trying to think because it's been so long since I've done this. Basically what we're going to be doing is taking some of the, like you might recall from a few previous live streams that we were creating, like we had to gather the data from each of our individual APIs, which is what we're going to have to do anyway. So if I were to diagram this out right now, we would have to, before we could even put the movie through the model, we have to get all the data from the APIs, these respective APIs. So IMDb, OMDb, TMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and then we have to pass them this data. We have to do the feature engineering against the data, but I guess that's being taken care of as part of the pickle file, I guess. So yeah, and in fact, I put them in the helpers here. I need to figure if anybody. Okay, so this is one thing that I honestly do struggle with, and I know that this is solvable. And so, if anybody has experience, like more robust experience with this, please reach out to me. Relative imports, and what I mean relative imports is I need to make use of this helpers.py file underneath this model training directory here, from this predict.py file here. So you can see that it's in a different directory here, and so if I had it in the same directory, no big deal. I think if I had it even like in this like higher level directory, this container directory, I think it wouldn't be a big deal either. However, I don't want to have to move these things, and I think there's a way to do a relative import. I just have not figured out how to do that. So if anybody knows how to do that, please reach out. I would love to hear that. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to think of what we're all going to need. Do we need pandas? Yes. Yeah. So let's go ahead and import pandas as PD. Pandas as PD. We're definitely going to need fast API. From fast API import. I think, is it fast API? Let's look. You know what? Let's make it easier on ourselves. Let's just. I've got plenty of material that I've done this a million times elsewhere. Remember, and I've said this before in other streams, the important thing is not memorizing the syntax of things because, you know, there are so many things to remember. The important thing is to remember the context of what you want to do. Am I freezing at all? Because my computer's being a little bit laggy right now. Laggy. What's going on here? Okay, let me close out some applications here. Hopefully we'll cut down the lag here. I don't know why my computer's being so weird. Okay. In fact, I'm tempted to close down Chrome, but that means I'm not going to be able to see the stream comments here. But Chrome is just a big memory hog. So okay. All right, we'll continue along. I just closed out a couple things, and hopefully that'll clear things up for us. And then in case anybody's curious, I use this software called Streamlabs to do streaming, and I think Streamlabs is also kind of a memory hog, which is what because I think y'all might have. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize this many people had started this. That's not a big amount of people, but that's more than one. Oh, I totally forgot. It's been so long since I've done a Terraform SageMaker entry. Oh, I need to get on the game, but Elden Ring people, that is a great game. So I'm gonna be in the dungeon here for a little while playing that game. Oh, here's another interesting thing that I've been working on. Wow, I can't. One of the issues that I've noticed is, like, let's say you train a predictive model in an older version of a Python library, whether that be Pandas or scikit-learn or XGBoost or any of those. The problem is that you want to be able to keep your software dependencies all updated for security and compatibility purposes. And so the challenge I've noticed is like, okay, what happens if you have no actual mechanism to actually retrain the model? So like, let's say you don't have the training code anymore, or you don't have the training data anymore. Me and another coworker were figuring out that, oh wait, this is because all predictive models are really what they're doing is just saving coefficients of these mathematical algorithms behind the scenes. So we were wondering, can you just extract the coefficients from the model and then just pop them into like a newer version of like an updated software library? And so that's what I was doing here, and I am getting way off topic right now, but I think this is an interesting concept. And I actually proved it out here with the iris data set. So what I did here is I imported this thing. I trained a model here. So you can see I trained the model here, and then got some validation scores. And then I instantiated another model. And I guess if I was smart, I would have. Well, no, I guess never mind. Just disregard what I just was going to say. But anyway, I instantiated another model object here of the exact same type. And then from the original model, so this, I called this one other RFC model, and the original one's RFC model, RFC standing for Random Forest Classifier. And so what I did was I extracted different attributes of each model off of here. Now, obviously, this is not going to be a one-size-fits-all for each algorithm because, these things are specific to a Random Forest Classifier. However, you can see that after I extracted all these things, then I popped these things back into this new one, and I was able to get inferences from that just fine. So pretty cool. Now, the one thing I've not tried out yet is obviously I did this all in the same version. Like, this is all just the same version of Random Forest Classifier. However, what I want to test and see is if I'm using like an older version of scikit-learn and I want to extract the coefficients out of that and then pop them into a newer version of scikit-learn, will it run? And I think the answer is yes in some cases and no in other cases. And so when I say no in some cases, it's sometimes these Python libraries get updated to where like the underlying functions and API calls and stuff are updated, and therefore you won't be able to use there would be other things in here that would prevent you from doing something like this. But I would say that's probably a case I what I'm estimating, and this is just a pure guess, is that 80% of the time I should be able to do this, and so I think this is a really interesting concept. And if I actually do get it working, and so I don't know if y'all are familiar with what this repo is I obviously I do a lot of blogging on Medium as well, and I like to do, usually my blogs are more long form, so with these more the movie model project, they've been more long form. But if there's a shorter blog, I put them in this one series of stuff that I called just the DS Quick Tip series. And so that's probably why there's so many stars on this repo, is because this repo actually represents at least 14 different blog posts that I've written for all of these individual things so far. And then the 15th one will be this one. It is not written yet. And it's just not written yet. Wow, I can't believe how long I've been doing this now. Over 2 years. Whew. Time flies, people. Okay, so I am way off topic. But that's why I wanted to come in here, though, because I've done stuff with Fast API many times in here. In fact, I actually had a whole thing called Dockerizing Fast API. So if I go into container here, API.py file here. Okay, so I was right. From Fast API import. Okay, what is request? Oh, yeah. Yes, okay, it's coming back to me. Okay, so from Fast API import Fast API in request. And I want to refigure this around. Okay, just rearranging the stuff here. Okay, so all right, what do I need to load in? I'm going to need to load in, oh man, a lot of stuff. In fact, it might be easier just to reference, because I haven't, even though you see all these Python files over here, I don't think I finished this. I need to go back and finish those, because to date in this whole series we've been mostly working out of Jupyter Notebooks. And from this point on, and actually I don't know how many more streams there will be for this particular effort. I think we're getting close to being done with this project basically, and moving on to something else. And I've got other ideas, and I've got too many ideas. So if there's actually any ideas that people have, feel free to reach out, because I'm willing to entertain them. Actually, so I actually saw something that I personally thought was really cool, in the sense that so back to what I was talking about with my alma mater. My alma mater was a Christian university. It's called Lincoln Christian University. And so I actually originally went there to be a church pastor, and that didn't work out for me. But I still do have a lot of ties to the Christian community. And I actually found somebody on Medium, specifically in Tor Data Science. Well, no, I don't think it was Tor Data Science. Or maybe it was. Somebody figured out how to create a natural language processing model that would take a piece of Bible verse and then compare it to the top 100 worship song list kind of things. And so what they did was, using natural language processing, is he would look at they basically do a text analysis on the Bible verse and compare it to all these different lyrics of these top 100 worship songs, and then basically the model would pick out the 5 most relevant ones to it, and basically creating a worship set list for that. So imagine, I'm going into the Christianese world here, and and if you're not familiar, what the way that Christian churches typically work is that like you'll have like a band that plays like 3 or 4 songs, and then you'll have like a pastor that gives a sermon on some like Bible verse. And so what a worship pastor typically likes to do is they want to match a song that matches the service. And so I thought that was a really cool idea. Like it's a really smart idea of like using natural language processing to figure out how you're going to build your worship set list based off of whatever pastor is going to be preaching out of the sermon. So obviously I don't want to copy that guy's idea, and plus it's kind of, I want to stay out of the whole religion game here. But what I am thinking about doing is, a similar idea in the sense that, there are texts of famous speeches throughout history. I don't know if y'all know this, but like all of the presidential like State of the Unions and stuff are all saved out there somewhere. So I thought it'd be fun to like do not necessarily presidential speeches, but like just picking out famous speeches throughout history, like Martin Luther King's "I Had a Dream," and then analyzing the top 100 songs of like all time, and then doing like a theme music generator kind of thing. So like for Martin Luther King's speech, we look at the top 100 songs from the last whatever like century or whatever, and then picking out a song that might match closest to that. Like if like you were to create like a YouTube video and wanted to put like strong emotion behind that, because this happens all the time on YouTube, is when people want to put emotion behind something, they'll put like a theme song underneath it. So then you could use natural language processing to figure out the song, like the contents of this person's speech, and then trying to match a song to it. That way you can have like a theme song, if you will, for that. So I think it's now obviously it's kind of a silly idea. I don't think anybody would actually want that in practice. However, the purpose of these live streams is not really the end goal. Like this movie ratings model, for example, is a fun idea. However, at the end of the day, what I'm really doing here is using this as an avenue for learning. And everything is an avenue for learning. So this is an avenue for learning these concepts here. And I want to do something with natural language processing. So that's actually probably going to be what the next project is. I also need to get back to the computer vision project that I'm working with my high school guys on. And I am, again, deviating from the topic big time. So I like these ideas. But if and then the Wordle thing would just be like a one-time thing. It would just like we've been working on this movie ratings model for a couple months. The Wordle thing would be maybe 1 or 2 streams. Okay, so I am going to copy just the stuff here. So we're going to do we need to do an API instantiation. And for now, so what I'm going to be doing is just because eventually I think, like I said, I want to serve this out on Heroku as an API that serves a web page. However, for now, what I'm going to just create it as is a very standard API. Like, so we'll be able to do like a curl request. We'll start it up, do a curl request with a movie, and then hopefully generate some predictions back. Whew. I got to take a breath. I've been doing a lot of talking. Oh my gosh. Ooh, don't go on. Oh, no. All right, you are banned. All right. So usually I get Russian bots in my live stream. And I have somebody in the live stream on YouTube trying to do some, yes, thank you, Maggie H, disgusting bots. And that person is officially banned. All right, get out of here, you. All right, you're banned. All right, there's some bot in there that's putting, like, lewd things. I'll just say that. But that person's gone. All right, see ya. Well, not person, but that bot is gone. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, Fast API. All right. So copied in Fast API. We need to define the endpoints as well. So we are going to do a predict endpoint, and then we're going to have to, and then we're going to get the body of the request. All right. So I'm just going to copy this whole thing here, then tweak it. So again, remember the important concept here is not memorization of what you need to do, but the concepts of what we want to do here. And so what I'm doing here is I want to create a prediction endpoint. Now we are basically going to be passing in, when we do the curl request, we're going to be able to get like the movie name from that particular thing, from that particular curl request. as in the JSON format, and then eventually get predictions out of that. But we can't just start from like we can't just put them like oh my gosh, I'm all tongue tied today. Got snacks? No, I do not have snacks today. Maggie H. I wonder who Maggie H is. I have my drink today, which is Coke Zero. But yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I keep getting distracted. So what we need to do before we can pop the model in through the dealio here is, well, there's more things I need to import here. So I'm going to go onto my notebook that does all the inference and stuff. And I am severely underprepared for this particular live stream today. So thanks for bearing with me. GitHub. Oh my gosh. What? Like, honestly, stop it. I'm saying stop it to Maggie H in the chat there, who's trying to make me laugh. Maggie H being my wife. Okay, so I need to go here, movie ratings model. Yeah, so notebooks, and then we did the model training in here. So I'm just, the reason I'm coming in here is because I need to get all these different libraries from here. Okay, so we don't need all of these, but I'm going to go ahead and copy all of these and paste these in here anyway. And we'll just delete out the ones we don't need. Okay, so we do need Cloud Pickle. We do need some of these others. All right, I'm refactoring these things on the fly here. All right, so we need Cloud Pickle. We don't need warnings. I don't think we need NumPy. What was I using datetime for? I don't remember what I was using datetime for. We don't need the validation metrics. We don't need current test split, or we may need the function transformer. I don't know about that. Maybe. We may need the standard scaler. I'm gonna keep some of these in because I'm not sure if we need these or not. You know what? In fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna comment all these out because I may need them later, and I don't want to forget them. So I'm just gonna keep them commented out for now. I'm gonna move this back up then because I'm a stickler for organization, as y'all can tell. So I am gonna put importing the necessary Python libraries. Okay. So so what Cloud Pickle is going to do is it's going to be the one that actually loads in our model here. So I'm trying to think of how to do this. So what do I have in this serve script? Okay, so it is just going to be starting up API from Fast API. Except the one thing I need to change in here is that it would actually be predict. Actually, you know what? I am going to refactor this a little bit. Instead of calling this predict.py, I'm going to refactor this to call it api.py. Refactor, rename to api.py. Okay, so that's fine. But so what if you don't recall the syntax of what this is doing here is in order to start up a little web server, in order to serve out my my Fast API interface, I need to use a ASGI. I don't remember what ASGI stands for. Asynchronous something gateway something. But basically I have to use this thing called Unicorn that does that for us. So Unicorn is going to serve this out at host 0.0.0.0 port 8080. And then what the latter things are doing is say, okay, look in this Python file called API. And then within this Python file, there should be an API object that's Fast API. So that's what this is here. So that in this API.py file, we're going to be referencing this object. However, from this directory here, it's actually one level down. So I actually have to put model inference, model inference / API.py. Stop whatever you're doing. Let me. Stop it. All right. I'm about to ban Maggie H from the chat too. She keeps distracting me. I'm laughing because I'm in the basement and I can hear her laughing upstairs. Thank you. This is the worst live stream ever already. I can still hear her laughing upstairs. Gosh dang it. Okay, all right. So, all right. I'm trying to remember what we need to do here. I gotta look at this. So I just basically want to look up the syntax of how I crafted this thing. All right, I can hear you laughing upstairs still. Yeah. And all right. Oh my gosh, I am so distracted. I'm almost tempted to just call it a day. Because this is just going off the rails now. Oh, golly. Okay, so what do I need to look at? I need to look at the test. I have some test JSON files in here. I want to look at the test JSON. Okay, so this is some basic JSON. So I'm going to just copy this. And okay, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go into test. I'm going to make a new directory called test JSON. New directory called test JSON. Oh my gosh, I can still hear her laughing upstairs. All right, so new, I'm gonna do single movie.json, and then sure, I'm gonna add that to get, and then I'm trying to remember what we actually did here as far as the movie ratings model. So, because what I need to do is actually I need to pass this whole thing through. The whole data gathering kind of thing process. And this is where it's going to get a little bit complex. I actually do need to import all of these as well. Okay, so I need to import all these, definitely. Call it and delete it. The bus is off the road, man. Yeah, okay, well that's because you're getting me off the road there at Maggie H. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm streaming this to LinkedIn too, because you know, anybody could be watching this. My boss, my boss's boss, my boss's boss's boss. They could all be watching this. Thanks for derailing me, wife. Yeah. So okay. So anyway, all right. So we're reading this stuff in here, and then it looks like we actually had just read in. Okay. It's all coming back to me now, kind of. All right, so what I'm going to need to do here is I'm actually going to need to convert the JSON from here into a pandas data frame. And so, okay, so it was just, what was this called? Movie name? Movie name. Okay, movie name. All right, single movie JSON. And oh my gosh, did I keep this open? Please tell me I kept this open. All right, so I did keep this open. Thank you. All right, so movie name. All right, so what I'm going to do is paste this in here. Movie name, message retracted. Yeah, that's what I thought. Movie name, delete the rest of this stuff out here. And then I'm going to put the matrix because that's going to be our test movie. Because I don't think that's actually a part of this data set here. And I've been, the only reason I'm selecting the matrix is because we've been using that as our example all along. So why not keep it consistent? All right, so single movie.json. And so what's going to happen here is we're actually going to load this in and we are going to create our input df input data df input. I'm going to call this df input. All right, so this is going to the output of this is going to be the pandas data frame that just has the movie name in it, and this is where we actually need to add all of the data for our movie before we can actually put it through a model. And speaking of the model, I actually do need to load that. Loading the models, plural, loading the models from the serialized pickle files. Okay, so what did I call this? I'm gonna have to go back and look. All right. In fact, I probably should open another tab here. All right, history. All right, movie ratings model. Okay. All right, notebooks, model training, and then I gotta see what I did here. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna do the reverse here. Okay, so and the way to do the reverse here, so what this was doing, I'm gonna delete this, is it was basically saying, okay, I want to save this out here, and so that's what this Python syntax is doing. So we actually have the name of the file here, and this WB, what that stands for is write binary. So we were writing binary code back into here, and what we need to do instead is we need to read it back in. So instead of doing WB, we want to do RB because that is read binary. And same concept here. I'm going to grab the one for the regression model. So, oops, I don't want to grab that comment. There we go. Regression model. And then, okay, and I want to see here. I am just really rusty on some of this stuff. Well, that's because I don't typically work with Cloud Pickle. The reason I'm selecting Cloud Pickle, though, is because I'm working on my M1 Mac Mini, and for some reason, the standard pickle file does not work, or standard pickle Python library does not work on the Mac Mini, the M1 Mac Mini, so I had to use something else called Cloud Pickle, and it works just fine. Same functionality, it's just a different thing. But it was not, for some reason, this just was not working for me on this Mac Mini, which will be interesting because I'm actually getting, for work, a new Mac M1 Mac for work. It has not come in yet. I'm still on an Intel Mac for work, so that'll be fun. That'll be fun as soon as I get that. Like when I actually am looking forward to it. There are going to be some challenges to it, but I think the new hardware just looks, mwah. And I don't have the new hardware. All I have is the Mac Mini. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take a sip here. Okay. I'm trying to remember how I loaded in these models before. Did I use Cloud Pickle before? Because I think it's just with the openness is it .read? Okay, I'm gonna have to look. Let's do it. Give it a goog. All right, that's short for giving it a Google. All right, Cloud Pickle. Read. Load. Okay, not read. It's load. Sorry about that. Read. Not load. Not read. All right, load. Okay, so I'm gonna call this binary classification pipeline equals load. Okay, so what this is doing is it's looking in this other directory here. Where is that other directory? In this models directory here with you can see our pipelines are there. So we're going to read this in with read binary. So we read that in, and same idea here. And then we're going to save these to these objects here. Oops. I'm not doing this right. Okay. Cloudpickle.load. Yeah. Okay. And the reason we do it like this is because you might be wondering, so this Python object, what it does is it's opening this up and then keeping it in memory. However, if you don't close it out, then you could theoretically have some issue where you might corrupt the original file. So that's why you do this with thing, because what it does is it opens up the original file just for like as long as it needs to run. So meaning that it just runs this one line of code and then it actually closes out the original file so you don't like mess with it in the future. So that's why we're doing this instead of just doing like a straight open. And because I've seen people like tutorials out on YouTube that'll do that, and like I don't know why they just don't do this with as kind of thing, because yeah, you don't want to mess with your original files like that. Okay, so all right, loading in the I'm actually gonna yeah, I'll just put it. I'm just trying to think about how to organize this the best. Okay, so regression pipeline. All right, so those are going to be loaded. All right, so we're getting our input data. Or I'm gonna call this input JSON or JSON input df input. All right, so JSON input, df input, and then this is where we basically have to do a lot of copying and pasting. Is we need to then start to actually I forgot, I do need to load the keys too as well. All right, so we're going to need to load in the keys. API instantiation. All right, so remember, so this is the other thing that I'm kind of nervous about, is in order to actually make use of this model, we actually have to get we have to use some API keys that I built. In fact, now that I think about it, I should probably just create like some dummy keys associated to a different email, so that we're not using the keys from my email here. Because if I use, basically the reason that these APIs have keys is because they don't want like, they want to be able to like throttle traffic basically. And so like, let's say, I don't know, some company decided to create an API key, and then just open it up to the world. They don't want people just slamming their API key or their API with just a ton of traffic, especially like, because that, you know, that could cause issue for other customers, understandably so. So that's why I have my own my own API keys here. Okay, so we do need to add the YAML. We need to add the YAML in here. Okay, so PyYAML specifically. So what this is doing here is it is going into my keys directory here, and I'm not gonna show this because these are private keys right now. But it is just loading these things in, and then, well, just loading the whole YAML in, and then we have a little bit of code that actually extracts those API keys here. Okay, so let's go ahead and extract these guys as such. And I don't need, so honestly, I'm not even going to try to run this script because I know there's going to be bugs in it, but this is more or less what it's going to look like at the end of the day. All right, so we're extracting the API keys here, and what we're going to need to do now is actually just start instantiating a bunch of these objects. So what we're going to need to do is instantiating the TMDB objects. Okay, so instantiating these objects, and then, well, we'll do one at a time. So the first thing that we're going to do is we need to do search. All right, so that was just from one movie. All right, so what did I do here? All right, TMDB. All right, so, okay, query movie name. All right, so what we did was we got the movie name from the row there. All right, so, yeah, well, oh, you know what? We actually probably should try to do some of this stuff. So I'm going to just, for now, comment some of the stuff out and see how this runs. Okay, so I don't know how well this is going to run. I actually don't. I'm kind of nervous doing this. So partially because I've had to Dockerize everything on my Mac Mini because like trying to run things natively on my software just doesn't like to work for some reason. So let's go ahead and do bash serve Unicorn. Okay, so apparently I don't even have Unicorn installed in here. Pip install Unicorn. Oh, that's why. Okay, so while this is installing this, another issue I've had with the Mac Mini is just that it does not want to run TensorFlow. And when I tried to install TensorFlow on here, I have no idea why it did this, but it uninstalled all of my pip libraries. I have no clue how that happened, but it was very frustrating, as you might be able to tell. All right, so pip, and then let me do a pip install. Pip install PyYAML. Oops, that is definitely not the correct syntax. Pip install PyYAML. Okay, so that one's already good. All right, so now let's do a bash serve. All right, you could not import the module model inference. Okay, so this is and like I said, so this is the first time I've kind of done this like this. Model inference slash API. Okay, so all right, let's look at the Unicorn documentation. Onward to the documentation. I actually made a meme about this or a comment about this on Instagram the other day of like where people are. You'll get people that will bash people all the time to say, "Oh, like why are you going to Stack Overflow? Why aren't you going to like the actual documentation first?" And the honest reality is that the documentation for most things is not very good. Like I would say probably 80% of the documentation out there is bad. And I'm looking at you, Python specifically. Python's official documentation, terrible. It's so confusing. I always have to go to Stack Overflow. Now Unicorn's a little bit better here, so that's why I'm, always still go to the official documentation first. But if something is convoluted and you don't understand it, go to Stack Overflow. Like don't like bash yourself trying to like figure out these convoluted documentations. What time is it? 1:13. I got what time is my movie? 2:30. Okay, so we still got some time. I don't know if I said that. I'm going to go see the Batman here in a little bit. Okay, so command line options. All right, so it looks like we got host, port. All right, give me an example. I like to see examples. All right, so example, import, blah, blah, blah. No. I want to see an example of how this thing is running in. All right, so quick start, pip install Unicorn. All right, so we have some sort of app here, example. All right, let me just Google Unicorn nested directory. All right, how to point to a folder relative to this. Okay, all right, because you want to be flexible, blah blah blah. Okay, well, all right, here's what I'm going to do for now. I am just for now going to move this into this directory. and this is bad practice because I want to have this clean, but I don't really want to have to mess with this all right now. So, okay, so what we're gonna do instead here is we're gonna just strip this out, and this should work just fine now. All right, so let's try this again now. Bash serve. Oh, you can't even see that because of my dumb little logo right there. Can't you? No such thing as model. What? What's going on here? CD model inference. Okay, let me go ahead and pull this over into a different window because you can't see. I'm sorry, I didn't realize y'all couldn't see that behind there. Okay, so iTerm repo. I'm starting to get a little bit of lagginess here. Sorry about that. Repos ls cd movie ratings model cd container cd ls cd model inference. All right, bash serve. Okay, this is taking a bit. All right, what happened there? Okay, that's because it needs to go up 2. All right, so 2 2 2. All right, so let's go here, and then, all right, I knew what that issue was, so that was not a big deal. Okay, did I actually import Cloud Pickle here? Well, actually, I'm just gonna comment some of this stuff out for now. I can't even remember what we're testing right now. My brain's kind of all over the place, as you can tell, mostly because I'm thinking about Elden Ring. All right, so no files as keys. Yeah, well, that's because it is also relative, needs to do a different relative import. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Oh my gosh, this stream really is off the rails. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. TMDB 3 API is not defined. Right. That's because I did not import it. All right, well, let's bring that back in. Well, I didn't even want to test this out yet. Okay, now I remember what I was testing out. Oh, I can't believe I am this goofed up right now. Okay, so, all right, bash serve. Okay, so now it's up and running. And now in a different terminal, I am here. Let me look at my curl scripts here because because I'm so forgetful on some of these things. I just have curl scripts that help me do everything. So okay, so test predict. All right, so I'm gonna take this, but it's not 5001. It's a different one. Okay, so test shell scripts local. I'm gonna create a new file called local predict.sh. Okay, what is this test directory here doing? Sorry about that. Tests, what is this test directory here? Open it up, please. I don't even know why I have this. I don't know why I have multiple copies of this, so that's test dir. All right, so local train. Where is this at? Local tester. So this, okay, that's fine. I don't know. I must have done something wrong here, but I'm gonna go ahead and delete this because this does not appear to be good for anything. Okay, so local predict, and then what was I doing? I was just gonna paste this here at test.json, and so we're gonna put what is it called? Single movie, and it is not 5001. What was it? We put 8080 here, so 8080, and then I didn't even, because I just want to see what this looks like. So let's just do a quick print here, print df input. All right, but so obviously I'm going to have to return hello. Well, I'm not even going to have a return statement right now. I'm just going to delete this stuff out here and see what happens. All right, so I'm going to need to save, quit this. Oops, sorry about that. Quit this. And then let's restart this. All right, bash serve. Okay, so there we go. Now we can go into our repos directory. All right, movie. Okay. All right, so cd. Okay. Okay, so into our tests. Cd shell. All right, bash local predict.sh. Cannot read the file. Why not? What did I do wrong here now? Oh, that would be because it needs to go relative imports again. That is the theme of today, relative imports. Okay, now let's try this out. Internal server error. What was this error? Input data is not defined. Okay, well, what do you mean it's not defined? Oh, that's because I changed this. That's right. Okay, no big deal. Simple mistake. All right, so we'll go ahead and shut this. That's the one bad thing about using Unicorn like this is I don't think there's a reload, or maybe there is. But I've just not figured it out. Okay, or not figured it out. Well, I could figure it out. Okay, so back here. Oops, sorry about no. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Gosh darn it. Okay, let's try this again. No. Okay, so that appears to have worked. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So off on the right start. This is a good start. All right, we're back on track. Okay, so we are getting the movie name here. All right, so now I just want to try something else out here. So print extracting. Do I want to extract the movie name? I'm just thinking out loud here. I want to extract the movie name. I'm gonna be able to pass it through TMDB. Let's look at the TMDB here. Okay, so we want to be able to. All right, what are we doing here? Scroll back up to the top. Trying to teach people stuff, by the way, and like think out loud and talk and do everything at the same time can be very challenging. Like, so you might, part of the reason I'm all convoluted is just because like I said, I've not done any of this in 2 weeks, and therefore I'm just trying to do all the thinking at the same time that I'm doing the streaming. So please just forgive me on my brain weirdness right now. Okay, so all right, so this is what I did here. We got the feeds, so we extracted the movie name from the row. All right, so movie name. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, extracting the movie name from the input. Okay, so movie name equals df, and so this is always going to be just, there's only going to be one row in this data frame. It is because we're just doing analysis on one movie at a time. All right, so df input movie name, and then it's going to be 0. And then let's go ahead and print this out just to make sure this is okay. Movie name, and then let's also do a print type movie name. And so what this is going to do is this line 61 here is going to show us the actual movie name, and then the second line 62 here is going to show us the type. Although, why is this not highlighting? The syntax highlighting is not working here. Okay, something tells me something's going to go wrong, but that's okay. We'll see what goes wrong and we'll try again. That's the one nice thing about software development is you can always try again. All right. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's what I expected. So you can see here we just got the movie name, and then this is a class of stream. Okay, perfect. So we can go ahead and remove these things. All right, so the next thing we need to do is we now need to start doing stuff with this TMDB stuff here. Okay, so that means I'm going to need to import some of these other things. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second because I want to make sure that I don't accidentally share these thingies here. Thingies is a technical term. So all right, so my API keys specifically. All right, so I have some test API keys in here. All right, so test keys, and then what are these other keys? I'll start sharing my screen here in a second. I just want to make sure that I'm not exposing these things inappropriately. All right, so API keys, TMDB key. Okay, all right, now I'll start sharing my screen again because I'm comfortable again. All right, so back to the screen share. Okay, and by the way, what I'm showing here is just like the test version of this, and I am going to do the test version because you know, when you test out stuff in the real world, you always want to use fabricated data. You want to use test passwords or anything. So that's where you could see where here I'm just doing a test here, and that these are just dummy secrets. Like I don't care that you see these. These are just for show, basically. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and do another kind of, all right, with open. test.yaml has f test YAML equals YAML dot safe load f, and then I just want to try extracting the values out of here. So secret one equals, what is it? Test YAML, and then so what you have to do here is so you have like API keys, and then the other thing here. So I'm just going to put test keys and then key one. In fact, I'm going to just call this key one. Test keys, key one. Okay, and then let's see if this will actually print out as well. Print key one. Okay, now let's try this out. So let's go ahead and shut down and restart. TMDB3. Okay, so pip install tmdb. Like I said, for some reason that pip that whole thing kind of got really messed up. And all right, I'm gonna do a quick check on my phone here of other things. All right, anything going on here? All right. I don't know if anybody's actually watching these streams. Most of the time people don't, so that's why it's not been a big deal that my wife's been messing with me. But like, we went a little bit off the rails with the stream previously, so apologies for that. So okay, let's see if this is going to work for us now. Name TMDB3 API is not defined. Okay, well, why is it not defined? That is because I forgot to re-import it. Okay, silly mistakes, easy mistakes though, easy mistakes to fix. All right, so that is, all right, let's try this again. All right, bash serve. Okay, so we are now, all right, we have that working. All right, now I just want to see. All right, let's go ahead and, oops, apologies, I meant to go in here. Now I should get a null return. Okay, null return. And then, okay, this is working. All right, now let's go ahead and shut this down again. So now we can, now that I know the YAML's working. So again, I don't know if this is best practice, but what I like to do is more or less kind of unit test my way through this thing. I know I'm not writing literal unit test, but I'm writing metaphorical unit test here in the sense that I'm just testing out each individual piece before I actually try to put everything together. So we can go ahead and delete this out. And we can be confident that we are extracting the keys appropriately for these other files. And now let's go ahead and try to see if we can go ahead and use TMDB to actually get the movie results here. So performing preliminary search. All right, so search results. Okay, so I'm gonna rename this. I'm gonna get it. Getting TMDB full search results. All right, so I'm actually gonna call this TMDB search results. And what we're gonna be doing here is basically using this TMDB object up here to actually pass in the movie name and get the search results back here. And then we then continue to extract these things. So extracting TMDB ID if search results exist. Okay, yes, we do want to do that. And then, so I'm gonna put this here, if. And so actually, so what this was doing is this was part of our original training data loop. So instead of continuing here, we actually want to do a try and accept here. So if the length of search results equals 0, so okay, all right, so TMDB, and I know the matrix is not going to have any missing results because that's actually got quite a few here. TMDB search results ID 0. Okay, instead try. Okay, try accept. And I'm not very good with try catch blocks or try accept. Well, in fact, you know what? I'm not even going to try to do that right now. Yeah. Okay. Else return. Yeah, that's okay. That's what I want to do. Return. And I don't know if it's just the string that we want. We don't need, this doesn't need to be an F string literal. Okay. Okay, then we can take that out. All right, so we are extracting the TMDB ID, and then we are getting the details here. The details here, and we can delete this out here, I guess. Getting details. All right, so TMDB details equals TMDB movies dot details TMDB ID. Dig TMDB movies. Where is TMDB movies coming from? Did I skip something? I might have skipped something by accident. Or not. Maybe it's one of these objects. Yeah, okay, it's one of these objects up here. Okay, now it's coming back to me. So what you actually have to do here first is you actually have to do a search results, and then after you get your search results, you have to extract the first search result, and then you actually have to search for the movie to actually get the details of the movie. Yeah, okay, so TMDB details, and in fact, no, I'm just going to keep that. That's fine. All right, so, and it's transforming that into a dictionary, and then, so then we add, adding these rating, okay, I don't need to do that. Checking the length of the TMDB genres to see if there's a secondary genre. Okay, yeah, I do want to do this for sure. So what this is doing here is basically doing a sanity check to see like if there, because we're extracting the movie genres from this particular API here. So if there are no movie genres, then we need to do some fancy footwork to make sure that we're accounting for those appropriately. All right, so TMDB genre length equals length of the genres specifically. Okay, and then we are gonna do some separating of these genres. So I do need to do a little bit of updating here because I do not want to keep, oops, sorry about that. I do not want to keep these as the TMDB details data frame. This is going to go into df input, df input, df input. And as I can see here, we actually are making use of NumPy. So I'm going to put NumPy back in here. Import NumPy as NP. Okay. We're back on track, folks. All right. Sorry for derailing us. I don't think we're going to get much further, though, just to be honest. And yeah, we'll come back in another live stream and do more with this. All right. So separating the secondary genre. In fact, I'm just going to copy the rest of this because I think the rest of this is going to be relevant, and we'll just delete out whatever is not. Okay. Okay. So got to fix the indentation here. That indentation, actually this can be closed down just to make it a little bit cleaner to read. I got a lot of these things open. All right, let's go ahead and close out some of these things. There we go, much cleaner. All right, we are really back on track now. Okay, so separating the primary genre, that's fine, but I do need to change this df input equals, all right, so TMDB details. Okay, that's fine, df input. All right, so slimming down so key value in TMDB feats. What is the TMDB feats? All right, lesson learned. I need to do a little bit of pre-review before I jump into a live stream like this. Okay, so where are the feats? Where are the feats at? All right, for key value dot in if key in TMDB feats. Well, where did I instantiate that at? Oh, okay. All right, so defining which features that we want to keep from D. Okay, got it. Got it. All right, TMDB details. Okay, so we're getting the details. The primary genre equals np.nan. Well, this was not a... I wonder why this worked. Because this is not a data frame, is it? Or maybe it's... No, because I instantiated this as a dictionary. I don't know. Okay, so converting the details. And this is, again, why I do a heavy annotation on my work, because we actually did this might surprise you. We did this work back in November, which is why I'm struggling to remember some of this stuff. So the annotated comments are helping me out a lot here. So I know some people would think that this is frivolous, but when you consider that, like, not just me, like, this is helping, past me was helping future me remember this, or present me, I guess, if you will. But if I ever was working with, like, a coworker on this project or some other friend on this project, you would want to make sure that it was very clear to them what your code is doing. And you know, that goes back to the whole AI, ML, ethics conversation. And because you'd be very well, some of you wouldn't be surprised if you're technically inclined. This is not going to surprise you at all whatsoever. But it's extremely easy to bamboozle people in the form of code. So you can, if I created like, and this is why I hate when people use those foobar stupid variable names, is because it can be super confusing. And therefore, if I were to name these things like foobar whatever, then you don't understand what this is doing, and then you could hide stuff and do some pretty malicious stuff. And so I almost got into a social commentary about Facebook with this, but I'm going to stay away from that topic for now. Yeah. Okay, so what were we doing here for key value pairs in TMDB details dot if key in TMDB feeds? Okay. But that's why I'm so confused about this, is because like the features that are in here, I might redo this a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and just copy this whole line here. Is that copying the whole line? We shall see here in a second. Okay, let's go ahead and paste this. Ooh, this is already starting to get a little bit long. I'm gonna have to consider some organizational considerations here. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting quite a few features from here actually. Okay. And then what did I actually do here? Because I did make it easy on myself somehow. Okay, so I basically took a dictionary and converted it into a data frame, and then I appended it. And then I ignored the index. Okay, but how did I append it? I don't remember exactly what I did here. Okay. Can we do a column concatenation? Because now that I'm looking at this, because I originally walked in this room thinking, oh, I could just copy and paste the stuff here, but I've neglected to consider the fact that like I did things differently here because I was actually getting a bunch of data all at once, and I really just need one row of data at a time. All right, so TMDB details is a dictionary. Well, okay, so let me take a step back here. Let's go ahead, and I just want to look at what this TMDB details looks like. All right, so I'm going to comment all this stuff out, and then I'm just going to print this. Print TMDB details. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and, okay, it already is shut down. Let's go ahead and restart this, and then let's go ahead and do a bash. Connection refused to. Okay, it looks like I got some funky indentation going on here. What did it say was going on here? Indent does not match outer indent level. Well, okay. All right, well, I don't really... Now they're commenting out. All right, so let's try this again. Where... Okay, I'm getting some sort of weird indentation error here, and I'm going to guess it's because I copied something funky from here. So let's try this again. Where... Okay, so it's failing out at the query. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, well, yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. All right, so, okay. I have no idea why it's doing that. All right, one more time. Unindent does not match outer indentation level. Am I messing something up here? tmdb.search.movies. Search.movies. Okay, so now that's fine. You know what? I'm just doing a bunch of Control-Z's here. Okay, so there we go. Now let's go ahead and comment all of this out. And then I wanted to do a print TMDB. Oh wait, no, that's fine. I wanted to keep this stuff in here. All right, so let's go ahead and comment this stuff out. And then print the details. Print TMDB details. All my brain is thinking right now is I'd rather be playing Elden Ring. And I'm still getting this dumb indentation error. Why? Why? What am I doing wrong? All right, let me just see. All right, let's take a step back. All right, is it just this weird goofy bit of code right here that's just giving us problems? I am so confused why I'm getting this indentation error thing. All right, so let's try this again. Oh, did you all see that? It looked like it was like doing some weird spacing. Oh, that is the weirdest thing. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we are. Okay. So apparently me trying to copy and paste from this notebook, oh my gosh, okay. It's not, oh wow. Weird. Okay, no big deal. Annoying, but no big deal. All right, so, and I wanted to actually print what? Yes, that's correct. All right, bash serve. All right, well, getting more of these weird indentation issues. Okay, let's try it again. I'm gonna go nuts with these indentation issues today. Okay, well, and I'm about to call it a day because I'm so mad at this thing right now. Oh, this is. I guess I've never. Oh, is that why? Please tell me. Do any of y'all? Okay. Do anybody? Does anybody else just? Are y'all? How are y'all doing? Is anybody watching? I'm very curious if anybody's actually watching. If you wouldn't mind dropping a link in the chat, and if you want me to keep going, I'll keep going. But I'm considering calling it a day right now because I'm struggling, and I kind of should have been more prepared for this today. All right, so let's try this one more time. Okay, and yep, that's what I wanted to see. Wait. Oh, that, yeah. All right, hold on. Let me clear this all out. All right, let's try this again. Oops. All right. What are you talking about? No. Oh, bash serve. Okay, so you all saw that there, right? So it's working. It's just that, like, because this is the part that I was nervous about. Like, as long as I'm getting the results, the movie results here, like, and which I am appropriately doing here, then what all this other code, what it was just doing was just extracting the results from that API. So at least I'm getting the results from my Inference script here. So that's a thumbs up. And then I basically just need to slim all this down with other code. And you know what? I'm gonna be totally transparent. I'm freaking done. I don't want to do this anymore. At least not today. All I want to do is watch Batman and play Elden Ring. I'm not getting paid to do this stream. This is just for fun. And I've apparently just derailed this thing. I've been going on for an hour and 15 minutes. It's time to call it a day. And whatever. So if you have been watching, I apologize for a low quality stream today. But I hope you all learned something anyway. I learned something today. Come in more prepared. I know what I'm doing. I'm just... I hope you all know that I know what I am doing, because I obviously wrote this code myself. You all watched me write this code in previous streams. It's just that there's a combination of things going on here. Part of it's that I've forgotten it because it's been a couple months since I wrote it. Part of it's just my head's not here. I want to play video games. That's all I want to do today. I actually... for my coworkers out there, you know, I took today off work because I wanted to play video games. So I don't even know why I thought, well, I know I did a live stream today. It's because I didn't do one last week because I was at Great Wolf Lodge with my family. So I don't know. I got to clean up all this stuff, but this is all a huge mess. And so I'll go ahead and clean up all this stuff. And I'll get my head back in the game, and I'll come back. We'll come back more prepared next time. So what I'll probably end up doing is I'll actually just go ahead and finish the Inference script on my own, and then I'll go ahead and start researching how to deploy this thing on Heroku, and maybe in the next stream I'll teach you all how to do that Heroku kind of stuff and what Heroku kind of is and like how it kind of works, but that might take a bit. So maybe next week we'll do the Wordle clone instead, because the Wordle clone might be a fun side project, a fun aside, because we've been deep in the weeds of this movie ratings model for a very long time. Golly, it's been this effort's been over a year in the making. Over a year in the making, in the sense that like I had to do all the data gathering myself, because the training data was all just gathering the reviews of this movie reviewer, and what I had to do was just listen to the back podcast forever. So I didn't actually start the machine learning effort until October or something. And keep in mind, the only reason it's taking so long is because I've been doing these as part of the live streams. Like if I was actually doing this as like a real life project, like for my company or whatever, like this would have been done months ago. Of course. But this is all just for fun. And so if it's for fun, then we don't have any timeline deadlines or anything like that. But anyway, I rambled on too much today. I'm done. I'm ready to watch Batman. I'm ready to play Elden Ring. I am ready to just chill out. and part of the reason I kind of want to do all this stuff today is I'm going to see my father-in-law tomorrow. And so I'm not going to get to do this stuff tomorrow. So or Sunday. So I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend. And so I just want to chill today. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed the stream anyway. We will see you in the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.